Gamers and people of Earth, welcome back to another episode. Episode 10, here we are. We're not quite done with the series yet, and I just found out that this it gives me the titles before and a synopsis before I start the episode, which means that this episode is called His Butler Mopping Up, and I'm very interested. You know what I mean? So it sounds like things are wrapping up here, but not quite. Apparently, Ciel is saved, but Wolfschlucht is home to another threat beyond werewolves and curses. Wow, 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 wow. Well, I'm very interested. I don't know if that just means that they're home to, just the German secret military before the SS. That was something else. But, there's only one way to find out, and that's to start the episode. So thank you all so much for liking, subscribing, and staying tuned, because now we just get right into the meat and taters. Well, that was a 5-minute recap. A full 5.5-minute recap. For those of you who want to watch this unedited and no censors on the screen, be sure to head over to Patreon.
I can't believe I'm still having to clean up his messes after all this time. How stupid I was to think I was finally free.
I see you're the same as ever, Diedrich.
Do not use my name! I mean it, I'm not your blasted drudge! Now, Scruffy Face! Huh? Me?
Me? Nice.
Du Schwein!
You have my thanks.
Even though the last episode was called CL Can't Avoid the Allegations, I just have to say, CL still can't avoid the allegations.
But what on earth are you doing here?
I'd have thought the reason was obvious. Because someone poked a hornet's nest. Stay out of sight. You're as bad as your father was.
Don't push me, unhand me! Don't choke me!
Swear.
If it's the toxic gas you're worried about,
No, fool! It's far more than that. They'll use this place for... Get down!
What sort of weapon was that?
They unleashed the only thing that could be so devastating as to create a crater like that and burn everything in its wake. Your mom.
And now it's an earthquake?
9. Not quite.
That sound. Something huge is coming. Something huge is coming.
Is that cannon moving? It's the latest armored land vehicle. They call it the Panzer.
The Panzer.
The Panzer?
Over land, not just by sea. Your country's working on them too, aren't they?
Working, yes, but that's a far cry from this stage.
Damn it! That didn't even scratch the thing? Oi, Scruffy Face! You take a hit from that and you're dead. Running's our only option. Young master!
Drat, why did my injuries pick now to catch up with me?
The injuries? From just...
Loading complete.
I completely forgot. I don't know, am I out of it? Am I out of it a little bit? I think I probably am, if I'm being honest. Not my fault. It's not my fault. I swear, it's not my fault.
Junior! Fire!
No. Oh yeah, don't forget about Bassy.
Good grief.
And the suitcase that he has to stuff CL in so he can make him a real boy again so that he can get his actual soul?
You've made quite a mess of yourself.
Season 2 references.
Sebastian!
You go to the trouble of dressing like that and can't even see the job through. You should have just left the whole thing to me, you troublesome boy.
Don't. No. Nope. Don't. Nope. 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 Not good. Not okay. You troublesome boy, the way you look right now. It's creepy. Jamichael, you need to stop it.
You troublesome boy.
I should have. Given your tardy arrival, I'm less than convinced.
Hurry up, you two! The next round is coming!
They fired without any hesitation. But they can't possibly know yet that he isn't the Lehnsherren. This was always their plan. Hilda, the army. They were going to kill her regardless of what happened.
He then hulked out and became a werewolf.
Saline gas.
Right here, my lord. I procured all the test batches as instructed.
You two, go with Diedrich. Get to the railway and prepare for our escape.
I get that staccato, I don't know if that counts as, it's close enough. It's pretty typical, but it reminds me of Indiana Jones.
And send a flare so Finney and
And
the
Star
others
Wars.
know where to go.
Sir, yes, sir!
Says Oscar brotherly. And Diedrich, look after this, will you?
I'm not... Ah! Are you trying to kill us all? You're no better than your father.
Don't dilly-dally.
No, what?
We need that armored pest dealt with, Sebastian.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, don't be worrying about them. The young master always has a plan. More than that, he's got Sebastian, and he's what you'd call talented.
Don't get yourself killed, Junior.
Well, put me down already.
My apologies. I'm afraid I can't do that as you are shoeless and I neglected to bring any with me. And only the worst kind of butler would allow his master to dirty his soles.
Dirtiest soul.
Besides, my lord, your compact frame does allow for a rather uncanny aesthetic performance of the Emerald Witch. I see no reason to end your dalliance with femininity so soon. To you, my lady.
Sod off.
We need a we need a street translation of like what things that Sebastian and CL say to each other. So, oh, your slender frame doth make your femininity pronounced, and it's just like you don't have any shoes. Besides, you're small and you look like a girl, and it's embarrassing. It was hilarious.
I jest, my lord. Now, to business.
I order you. Destroy the Panzer!
My lord, by your command.
I want to see him like in season 1, episode 3, where he takes like the bullet shots to the chest and then coughs up the bullets. I want to see him do that with like a 30 millimeter.
Those fools actually think they can stand against us.
Oh, lovely. It appears they have a full range of angles from which to retaliate.
Those are some durable trees. No one on the inside curious what that thud was.
I fear its armor was thicker than I'd imagined, and the infantry's being a nuisance.
That vehicle is too big and agile to be
Vehicle.
in steel. If it were, it couldn't possibly propel itself at that speed. They're sure to have strategically thin armor to reduce the overall weight. It'd be areas unlikely to be targeted.
Theo.
How do you do that?
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
God for these fiery treats. Well, that's it for the hors d'oeuvres. It's on to the evening's main course.
It's a good thing that it's German, so you could just go.
This time,
And it's fine.
This is it, Sebastian. Go!
pompous fools! Run headfirst to your death!
Papa Sport, Papa Sport. Money everywhere. Good evening. Mind if I kick by? Crash at your place.
Well, my lord, you are as astute as ever. The top is quite penetrable indeed.
No, Bassy, don't die.
My goodness.
Oh, he's alive.
Look at all these wide-eyed creatures huddled together, trembling. Like fetid vermin freshly discovered hiding beneath the floorboards.
His laugh got better, I will say that. Do you remember season 1 laugh? Let me see, can I find season 1 laugh?
Now is not the time for this.
Yeah, there was that. I can't really find it, but I remember his laugh was just kind of like.
Fair warning, they do pack a bit of a wallop.
Not so much a mobile warship anymore, is it? More like a mobile oven.
Astute observation. Panzer? I hardly even know.
Very cheeky, my lord.
I wonder if there's like a Japanese translation or the words in Japanese. I wonder if that like was a much better joke. Tank, more like tank goodness. That's blown up. Adidas. Are we gonna learn about the girls that we care so much about?
Died on the 17th of August, 1889, of complications resulting from multiple.
Wait. What day was that?
Died on the 17th of August.
One day for my birthday.
1889, of complications resulting from multiple lacerations.
That's not William, I know that.
They wear pretty faces, but their actions are always so.
There's no way.
Well, what now, Sasha?
It's a German one.
Hey, what are you doing all the way over there?
Sorry about that, Ludka. These notes the English branches sent over are a truly fascinating read. I suspect that things are about to get very interesting.
They suspect that things are about to get very interesting in the story? Do you think that... Are they going to return? I kind of hope they don't, just for the fact that I enjoy characters that show up one time every once in a while. That's always kind of nice. But yeah, if it wasn't for the 5.5 minutes of intro and minute and a half of intro music, of theme song, and then 3 minutes of...
Job as much as you.
Oh.
Sasha, perhaps you're getting a bit too excited.
How can I not be? Can you imagine it? England and Germany. Just considering what might happen makes me shiver with anticipation.
I don't know of a single colleague of ours who loves this job as much as you.
Right? I feel so lucky that I became a Grim Reaper. So, Ludka, do you have any theories on where things will go from here? Personally, I think that Germany...
I think that's something best saved for later. Right now, we've a demon butler to deal with.
Guys, what could they possibly be talking about?
So we could just leave him be.
You mean that young girl?
Oh, nein, that is his contracted. But according to these notes, he's actually a boy. He just doesn't look it.
What? Really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
You should read about his career. Fascinating stuff. His family is the English crown's faithful dogs, dirtying their hands for queen and country.
His butler, much unknown. Ooh, the next episode, very intriguing. It seems like that's kind of where things are going to wrap up. They're going to tie in everything in loose ends. They're going to report to the queen, probably. And it'll probably be the last episode. If I had to guess, we're probably going to be 11 episodes, just like last time. Which is very, very interesting. I think it'd still be fun if you had a wind down episode for episode 12. But that might not happen, and that's okay. It's okay, it's whatever. But like I was saying, it seems kind of like they are running out of material, and they probably were signed on for 11 episodes, which explains why the last 2 episodes had crazy long intros. But yeah, the action in this episode was great. I would say it's not the top tier, but it's great. It's great Black Butler, for sure. Great Black Butler slop episodes of quality, which I call it slop and quality, which you know what I mean. You understand exactly after watching that episode what I mean. I'm very excited, and to see the next episode, which will be coming out next weekend. And then maybe that's the last one. And I am looking forward to not having to upload once a week, I'll be honest. But then after that, we're going to go into Book of Circus. Speaking of Book of Circus, we might also do Digital Circus, because the new episode of that came out, and I'm 2 episodes behind, so I might as well start from the beginning again, remember what all that's about. And if you're interested in Amazing Digital Circus, let me know. Because I'm probably just going to do it anyway. Leave a comment, let me know. And speaking of letting me know about things, thank you to everyone who signed up at Patreon, and thank you for even checking it out, girls and boy. And now it is time for everyone's favorite reading comments, starting with Patreon. I want to apologize. Sometimes I skip over chats or messages because I forget that I didn't read it yet, or because I read these during the day. Season 2 had a lot of quotable lines. Yes, it did. I just forgot that they had so many quotable lines. I'll be honest. The twins that you have met, Larry Gray, had very different personalities. One was more outgoing and the other was shy. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I understand that my evidence is anecdotal, so it's just what I've noticed. But yeah, pretty interesting. You also don't think that there's going to be an in-between episode this season. It's cutting pretty close if they're only going to have 11 episodes. Yeah, I agree, especially with how they've been padding out the last couple episodes. The past, several episodes have been, getting increasingly longer intros, and, excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely a sign of trying to pad out, to 11 episodes rather than, they're running out of material. Very obvious. Dietrich was Ciel's fat friend in Season 1, Episode 2, one of the few canon episodes. He was Vincent's German friend from Episode 8 of Season 3. He was in Season 4, Episode 6. Yeah, I know there was a flashback in Season 4. Season 3, I just completely forgot. In Season 1, Episode 2? Dietrich was his fat friend? I don't remember that, but I will believe you. And 916 you pointed out. What happened at 916?
Finney like Finney.
Yeah, they did do a lot of when they. I always love seeing backstory for characters, but when they did Finney last episode, it was definitely more of a. Like, it didn't really add much. And to be fair, there was a lot of Finney... I think all of the Finney lore, like, there was nuggets of new information, but most of it was just rehashed with different visuals and dialogue. So it's just kind of like, Finney, I like Finney. And now we're on to like 60 comments on the main video. I'm gonna have to skip through these, and I apologize if I don't get to yours. Wicked Mel, I have been rewatching Book of Circus. Diedrich appears on the Weird Man's flashback talking about Vincent eating sandwiches. He's also in the early episodes of season 1 as well, eating sandwiches again, and he's Vincent's drudge from public school arc from the greenhouse. Yeah, I remember the season 4 part. Y'all are remembering season 1 as well, and I don't. Hold on, I can probably pull that up. Black Butler, episode 2. Y'all are telling me it's episode 2. Hey, Honeyplex. Quality opening. Amazing opening. Oh my god, dude. The opening, the title, the little tag music, it's bringing back so many memories. Oh, there he is.
Quite the commotion going on.
Okay, I see what you mean. So he was in it, but he wasn't super important to the plot, you know. Ghost Town says, for context, Diedrich was the greenhouse prefect. Yep. Lost a game of cricket game bet to Vincent, which led Vincent making him his drudge for life. And that's where we know him from. Yep. Possibly an unpopular opinion. Number 2, Wolfram is the most attractive male character in Black Butler, and you will die on this hill. Wow. That's an opinion to have. I mean, if you're into the mutton chops, I guess, sure. And he's also loyal. I get that. And I also understand that Bassy is the easy choice. And then after that, you don't have a whole lot to choose from, because then you'd be choosing Vincent. Then you'd feel bad because Vincent looks remarkably like Sebastian, or, you know, vice versa. So, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't like dudes, so I'll let you... No judging. Dolly says CL probably referred to Finney as Blonde One before he named him. In the episode, they said CL said that he called him Subject 112 or whatever.
I can't very well keep referring to you as Subject 12 forever, can I?
Subject 12, yeah. So I think that he just called him Subject 12 Subject. Sebi and Subby wasn't gonna really work, you know what I mean? And you also say Sebastian is 100%, in your opinion, jealous that Finney got to have a better meaning behind his name than Sebastian, who got named after the family pet, in which he hates dogs. No, based, for real, absolutely. Personally, you like the idea of Season 1 getting a remake, but I can also picture tons of fans complaining about it, saying, but we still need to adapt the rest of the manga story arcs. Do we have to wait another 10 years for the Blue Cult to be animated? Yeah, no, I get that. But you could easily have a subdivision of the team remake Season 1 and Season 2 or whatever would need to get filled in while working on the next seasons. It would cost a lot less because you don't have to... You've already basically got the groundworks all done and stuff like that, so... a valid point, though. Valid point. You agree with my perspective on the twins, but based on what I've seen the Phantom Hive twins in later chapters of the manga, without spoiling too much, The fact that CL had asthma and twin brother did not may possibly have something to do with them having slightly different personalities. For instance, our CL would have often been forced to stay indoors, sometimes be bedridden due to his illness. Meanwhile, twin CL was fully able to play and go outside, and by extension interact with more people more often, became more sociable and outgoing than our CL. Maybe. I don't want to get, like, too into the, like, get into the, like, what really happens, like real life version, because if you nitpick everything, it's not really fair. Like, you don't get to tell the story that you want to. So I do not, like, hold this against the story at all, but, like, if you're having twins, both of them probably have a compromised immune system. It's really unlikely that one's going to be healthy and the other one's not going to be healthy, unless one is very healthy and the other one is very not healthy. That I've heard of before, but RCL is not really exhibited traits of being incredibly unwell, other than having asthma, which in the late 1800s would have been a lot more debilitating. But again, like, after having written my own stories, my own screenplays and stuff like that, I've learned that you can't hold everything against every, you can't scrutinize every little bit. Sometimes, there's, like, glaring things, but stuff like that is just not fair, and that is me reflecting on myself, not on you or anyone else. At 11:41, mysterious stranger from the planet Krypton reminds you, because I'm video, immediately remind you of I am Moana, or I am all the Jedi. Jillian says, I don't know if you said it because you knew this, but Bard is American. It just hasn't been revealed yet when they were dubbing the first anime. No, I had no idea. I thought he was part of the British military. An actual swordsman has tested this before, and it's, yes, I saw that video that a guy who trains in Kendo, I think, has a katana, and I think that was him. Maybe it was different, but no, I saw that the swords, where he was testing if you could actually split a bullet in half, and yes, you could. You could. Anyway, we see a lot more of CL's childhood in future arcs that help round him out. Not only what CL was like, but also how the twins viewed each other. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And like I said last time, I think that with the story being, once the story is completed and I really get to see that, I will be less nitpicky about where we are now. But as it's being revealed to me, having the lore of season 1 and 2 being ingrained in my mind, despite it really not being accurate, and now being dropped here and me just not picking up on it at all until this season, I just would have done it differently. But yeah, no, I'm actually really excited to see how this turns out, because it could be really good or really bad. The most obvious difference between Seb's cinematic record is, the most obvious reference in Seb's cinematic record is that CL visits his father's grave and there are 4 headstones. Yeah, I don't think I picked that up at all. Also, how can anyone say season 2 doesn't have any memorable quotes? If you really loved season 2, if you loved Black Belt, loved it, and I'm not in the camp of love. I really like it. I enjoy it, and it is a big part of my life because of YouTube and how that trickled in. And yes, it had a lot of memorable. Alois Transy had a lot of memorable quotes. And you could say the same thing about season 1, but the thing is that Alois and Claude are only confined in season 2, thank God. So, yes, I do get that. Lizzie in chapter 53 aboard the Campania 2CL says, I wanted to eat your cake. It's your favorite kind with the strawberries on top. Was that the answer to the emojis riddle? Because I would not have gotten that. I'm too smooth brain, too noodle brain for that. I'm sorry to disappoint you that you think too highly of me, which I appreciate. Stormy Wolf Howl says, snakes do have ears. They have holes hidden under their scales. Birds also have ears. Legless lizards have visible ear holes. Nice. I guess snake doesn't really know snakes. Immersion broken. 0 out of 10 show now. Dolly says at 2048, I say do a whole lot of serious.
Do a whole lot of serious with like no breakup.
And you enjoy. I do a whole lot of serious. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just when I thought that we were done with Finian's backstory, we have more to cover apparently. But the thing about the backstory is that we didn't really cover anything new. Diedrich is just a family friend and they're not related. Yeah, I kind of picked that up with everybody else's replies. And then you got like 8 replies on that. A whole bunch of people just kind of adding together to kind of figure out things, and I appreciate it. I think that warms my heart. Y'all are coming together as a community, not just a whole bunch of people commenting on my videos. That warms my heart.
Thanks. Is it CL?
Now that was prompt service. Here's a tip for your trouble.
Yep. Yes, it was CL. It was CL all along. Should have known. I love him so much. Peak Integra Helsing moment. What are we talking about?
CL and my cross-dressing allegations.
I mean, yeah, no, I feel that. Integra, Fairbrook, Wingates, Helsing would absolutely do something like that. Oh my. Yes, okay, sorry, I finally got the reference. It took an entire squad to hunt down a 13-year-old boy. He's 13? He's a boy? So that's a boy? Spawn, Diedrich plays Minecraft. Confirm he's a angsty gamer. Oh, this changes everything. Wanda says they really should make a long... They should make a long-ass 20-episode Season 1 remake with all the canon episodes of the introductory characters, or introduction chapters, when Klaus first shows up, Jack the Ripper, Curry Contest, CL's birthday, with the proper introduction of Aunt Frances. I don't remember Aunt Frances. I wonder if she... Oh, yeah, Aunt Frances is, Lizzie's mom. Right? All those little nice little domestic moments before Book of Circus begins, including the chapter of the Curry arc where Agni wants to give himself away to the police for his crimes, and CL and Sebastian stop him. 10 out of 10 content. Would watch it. It would be so cool, dude. I wish copyright wasn't a thing sometimes, but it is, and it kind of sucks. But not really. 244? What did I say?
That's a lot of snakes.
Oh, that is a lot of snakes. The magic circle, yeah, I was asking about, like, did we ever find out what that was? It's just a formula for mustard gas. Which I still find kind of weird. It's like you wrote it down on the ground, but you still needed her to continue it. My brother in Christ, Diedrich, was Vincent's drudge in Winston College with British accent. As Greenhouse Prefect, he also showed up in the flashback of Lord Kelvin, and Vincent was back in Book of Circus. I don't remember Book of Circus. I'm a failure as a fan. When he was still young and slim, he also showed up with a British accent way back in episode 3 of season 1. I did see that. He was just barely there, eating sandwiches along with Madame Redlow and Chief of Scotland Yard, and the Italian monsters been kidnapped. Klaus is also there. We also see many little cute scenes along the manga, like Book of Atlantic chapter. We get a flashback of Vincent and Diedrich. Yeah. It kind of felt like I didn't know who... So, season 1... I would not have known who that was because it was never explained, so it didn't really make any sense. Season 3, completely forgot about. Maybe that does help a little bit. Season 4, it makes sense. It's been a while since I saw it, now that we're getting to this part. But I mean, it would have been nice to kind of show more in the anime. I understand that it's in the manga, and you guys probably got to fall in love, or at least recognize who the character was more than I did. Holy moly. Wanda, I love you. I love you so much, but this is a lot of reading. Well, what did I say? Like, one is like super timid, and the other one is okay. Talking about the twins. Well, reading back in the earlier manga chapters, especially the Book of Circus flashbacks, the Book of Atlantic arc, there are plenty of clues. Even like when Ciel is being sold, the buyer said something like, "From the Phantom Hives." Yeah, you could now with hindsight. Before that, I think from the Phantom Hives, as in the Phantom Hive name, like the Phantom Hives, like you mean like the Phantom Hive household, the Phantom Hives. They would say like the Miller household for me, or the Millers. This purchase is worth more than 2 children. Yeah, that does make sense. I don't remember it. If that ever happened. At the time, you take it that Ciel is alone more valuable than 2 regular kids would be, but the second you realize that there actually were 2 kids in the same cage, and they were worth more than he was being paid for them. Yeah, true. Also, in Kelvin's pervert flashback about the first time he met the Phantom Hives, little Ciel seems pretty inconsistent on his behavior. One moment he's hiding behind his father, and the next he's confidently introducing himself, and Vincent refers to him as this one's insisting on coming along despite not feeling too well. I do kind of remember that. Little hint there. And the personality Lizzie remembers Ciel had always called her Lizzie is way different from the one he had when he returned, who called her Elizabeth for more than 2 years onward, but she's surely attributed this to the trauma and I never even thought about that. Do you think Lizzie even knows? Because that would make so much sense, because I never even thought about that relationship, but Ciel just seems to like not want to be with her in season 1 and in Book of Atlantic, but she loves him, and it's just like, yeah, no, it makes sense. They're just not the same person. And also, many times the twins will strive to be very distinct from one another precisely because they look the same and are being raised by the same people, but they can also have more distinct individuality instead of being seen as 2 copies of the same thing. Yeah, there are some people, some twins who are like, I don't want to be known as, the person who looks just like me in the mirror. Like, I know there's some people who have issues with that, and I think a lot of twins go through that feeling. But there are some who just enjoy being the same. Are they gonna summon Claude again? Liam, if you're watching this. Oh yeah, we're talking about that one. I think it's just the improved formula to synthesize mustard gas being written in the Theban alphabet, probably for practical reason to make it hard to understand by any possible spy. Yeah, it also adds to the atmosphere, which is kind of what the conclusion I came up with, is it's them taking what Siglinda wrote and then just kind of making it more magical, while also having the practical use of remembering what it is. Bard seems to have been afraid of snakes. Whenever they jump out suddenly, he jolts and shouts. Even last season, when they went out shopping and Snake got himself a bag to carry them all with him more comfortably, one of them popped out. Bard screamed alongside the Lady Seller, and he lives with them. He should be used to them by now. In the manga, we see many little panels of him screaming when he sees them too suddenly as well. And also, the manga and sub, Bard says in here, I had a bad time with snakes back in Arizona, but they sure are useful to have on our side. I keep wondering if they're going to explain his British accent when they're going to animate his very Southern American backstory. I am very interested to see that. I mean, I understand that you pick up accents when you've been somewhere for so long. But he was also a sergeant. It's not like he was like CIA or anything like that. Also, CIA didn't exist in the 1800s. Into the sheath. Oh yeah, it's the
kind of thing that. Like,
oh, whoa.
whenever-
It's seeing, talking about seeing Tanaka use a katana. I remember reading this part in the manga. I was so shocked. I was like, wait, Tanaka is actually Japanese? How am I not noticing this? Yeah, I had no idea. That is in fact the most American thing he could have said.
I don't speak German.
True. I don't speak German. It's great. We find out way later that Finney is actually supposed to speak very proper, posh English since he learned from Ciel and Sebastian. This actually becomes important for the plot at some point, so let's pretend Bard has a Southern American accent and Finney speaks English with a refined accent. Okay, I'm good with that. We'll just pretend. RCL does love chocolate more than any other sweets. That's true. Sebastian knows this, but I think a little clue about him and Lizzie's relationship is that she thinks his favorite is strawberry, and he never corrects her, even though Sebastian notices this mistake. Even in Book of Atlantic, she goes after him with a slice of his favorite strawberry cake, which he doesn't eat. And I used to believe that showed that she actually understood him as a person. Or the fact that he lets her believe a lie, that she knows what type of dessert he likes most to keep her happy, or the lie that they will grow up and get married, when Ciel's pretty sure that he'll die by Sebastian before that happens. Or maybe strawberry was his brother's favorite and not his. I think that strawberry is... I think that in my opinion, the obvious answer is that it's like Ciel doesn't like strawberry cake. That's his brother, who's the person who was supposed to get married to Lizzie, and he takes it anyway because he's living a lie. And it's going to be a massive Greek tragedy where he's going to die before Lizzie. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I have no idea how that's going to end up occurring. That would be like the worst thing ever. Is Yana gets to the very end of the story, Ciel's soul is taken and is devoured, and then we just see Lizzie like in a widow's outfit and pulls like a Misa at the end of Death Note. Not to be dark or anything, and lift up your spirit or something. And then our last one, Benedict says, YouTuber Evie made a great video, delves in the nitty-gritty analysis of Sebastian's character development. Heavily recommend. YouTube keeps censoring you. Minor sprinkles of teeny tiny spoilers, though. Could watch it after the season ends. Yeah, I'll probably watch it after the season is over with. But thank you for the recommendation, and I will be sure to take a look at that. I know you posted it on under another video, so I'll go figure out the name of the actual. Actually, Benedict, if you're watching this, which you probably are, leave a comment with the name of the video by the tuber. But that was episode 10. I think that's the penultimate episode. So thank you all so much for watching. And I am ready for sleep. I don't know about you. It is 100-ish degrees out. And it's gonna be for the rest of the week. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.